Like I said, this story in Tanzania is escalating, and a lot of interest has been generated. Tensions are mounting as the country's main opposition leader, Tundu Lissu, appeared in court yesterday facing charges of treason and publishing false information. Now, Lissu's dramatic entrance, fist raised, greeted by chants of no reforms, no elections, marked his first appearance since his controversial arrest. Now, the incident has sparked sharp criticism from human rights groups across East Africa. The Tanzanian Human Rights Defenders Coalition has called the arrest arbitrary, whilst the deportation of Kenyan activists who attempted to attend the proceedings has raised regional alarm. Meanwhile, President Samia Suluhu Hassan has issued a stern warning to international rights organizations, urging them not to interfere in Tanzania's internal affairs. Well, to help us unpack the legal, regional and political implications of these developments, we're now joined by Evans Ogada, who's an advocate, law lecturer and chair of the East Africa Law Society's Rule of Law Committee. Thanks so much indeed for joining us, and welcome to the program.
Good morning, Peter. It's good to see you after some while.
Yes, it's been a while. Let's start with your reaction to what's unfolding in court yesterday.
Well, it was quite a surprise that persons of the stature of the Chief Justice, former Chief Justice of Kenya, Professor William Mutunga, was deported from Tanzania. Former Kenyan Justice Minister Martha Karua was deported from Tanzania, amongst other lawyers and activists who had gone to that East African country to stand in solidarity with the opposition leader Tundu Lissu. It was something that was surprising for the reason that these high-ranking Kenyan citizens would have been treated so shabbily and treated in that manner, contrary to the East African Treaty and certainly contrary to basic courtesies.
So the Tanzanian Human Rights Defenders Coalition has called the arrest arbitrary. Is there a basis for making this allegation?
Well, I believe they have their reasons. From what we know, the arrests started with Mr. Tundu Lissu, who is also a lawyer. Mr. Lissu was arrested and his party proscribed or banned a few weeks ago. That stemmed from the fact that Mr. Lissu had called for sufficient reforms and had said or indicated that they were not ready to participate in elections without reform. So no elections, no reform. And that appeared to have riled the Tanzanian authorities, leading to his arrest and that of several officials from his party. And the aftermath is what we've been seeing happening in recent days.
The charges that he's facing, do they stack up in terms of what he's accused of doing?
Well, speaking as a lawyer and in my own personal opinion, I was really taken aback by the gravity of those charges, because he was charged with treason at the onset. And when you look at what he is alleged to have been said, juxtaposing that to the charge of treason, it is really something that does not add up. Even with a local law, that appears to have been a little bit an overkill. So it must also be remembered that Tanzania is a member of the East African Community Treaty, which pegs human rights, rule of law as part of the principal provisions that they have to oblige with under Article 6 and Article 7 of the treaty, those provisions alone will frown on this overkill, charging somebody for treason for simply saying no reforms, no election.
So we've seen Kenyan activists reportedly deported upon arrival in Tanzania. And does this continue to be a trend for President Samia Suluhu Hassan in violating the right to free movement under East African community laws?
Well, for your listeners and viewers, we have Article 104 of the East African Community Treaty, which provides for free movement. Now, free movement between Kenya and Tanzania has raised concerns. Businessmen and certain citizens have raised concerns about free movement, but it is unprecedented that a number of activist lawyers are deported and denied entry at this level and in this manner, because what is telling about the recent incidences is that these particular Kenyan citizens were not told what they did, which raises fundamental concerns about Tanzania's commitment to observing treaty obligations. These citizens were not told what they did. Certainly, they were not. There's nothing that has been given publicly as to why they were thought to be "quote unquote" security or national security risks.
What can regional bodies do about what's playing out in Tanzania and violations of this article that you've just mentioned? I mean, what can the likes of the East African Law Society do, perhaps, in ensuring democratic accountability in cases like this?
Well, the East Africa Law Society has a council, and our president, Rama Abubakar, sent out a statement condemning what had happened in Tanzania. President Rama had also indicated that the East Africa Law Society might consider going to court. So there are several avenues that might be taken. One is going to court, challenging this arbitrary deportation and denial of the principle of free movement. We have a precedent from the East Africa Court of Justice. There's a case that was decided in favor of a Kenyan national, Mukira Muhochi versus Republic of Uganda, where the Ugandan authorities had done exactly what was done to these Kenyan citizens. And the East African Court of Justice was quite categorical that what had happened was against the treaty provisions.
Evans, great talking to you. I hope that it's not a long time in between till our next conversation.
Certainly, it's always good to appear on SCBC, and certainly this time around I'm in Cape Town, and thank you. It was good to talk to you.
Great. We might meet up there. I'll be there this afternoon. We'll catch up.
Thank you very much, sir.
Fantastic, Evans. That's Evans Ogada Advocate, law lecturer and chairperson of the East Africa Law Society's Rule of Law Committee, giving us his thoughts about the situation that's playing out in Tanzania at the moment.